Well, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thanks a lot for inviting me over here and speaking about the women's cricket and women's team. I would like to say that when it all started with this very small daily routine when I used to do when I was in school in Pindi. My father was posted in Pindi, and it was a small school in a house where we would from grade nursery to grade 5. There was just 5 classes, and we used to stand up there and pray every day. The famous poem, we used to sing along the famous poem by Allama Iqbal, Lab pe aati hai dua ban ke tamanna meri. So for the next 3 years in my life, I would pray every day to God that, yes, I be the kid who can bring glory to Pakistan. I can be the kid who can stand up for humanity. So it was like, I'm really thankful to Allama Iqbal also, who made it a gender-free poem, and it did not mention anywhere in the poem that this prayer can be for a boy or a girl. So yes, I started doing it every single day for the 3 years, and then I think God got a bit bored as well, so he posted my father from Pindi to Gujranwala, so I cannot do the same routine for another couple of years. But there was another thing, apart from this very positive thing, that I think this was one of the things that started me going, thinking about how I can make my country proud. But there was one thing when I went to Gujranwala in the school, there was a general lack of exclusion. There was an exclusion of women in sports everywhere I used to go. Whether it was schools, whether it was colleges, whether it was any family get-together, there was an exclusion of women in sports. And the kind of images we can see here, we were not able to see when I was a kid. The only images we used to see was Wasim Akram running through his run-up, or Waqar Yunus or Imran Khan, but there were not many female icons in sports for us. So that was another thing that forced me to think that why is that? I was good at sports. I used to play with my brother on the streets. I was quite good with all the boys I used to play with. So I think I started connecting both these things from a very early age, that I wanted to make my country proud, and this was something that we were lacking as Pakistanis. I saw a potential in me, and that was something I started thinking about it. But all these things, I think, would not have been possible without the support of my family. My father, my brother, my mother, they have been extremely, extremely supportive of me. And we hear about a lot of campaign by the UN called the He for She campaign. So I'm very much fortunate that I had that kind of men in my family from a very early age. And yes, my father, when I was at the time in engineering college, when I was about to decide whether I would choose engineering as a profession or I would go on and try my luck in cricket. So my father told me that it was, we had a lot of female engineers in Pakistan, but not a lot of female cricketers. So that's the kind of support I had from my family. And I just, Samreen, I think she just mentioned that my brother, who's sitting here won the award for being Johnny Bravo of British Council. So I would just like to show you the other side of Johnny Bravo. He was my first coach. He was my first coach, and he used to make sure that every boy on the street would behave. Every boy knew that I was his sister, and he was basically the one who supported me throughout the career. Once I started my journey with these wonderful women out there on the field of sports, we all had the same dream of representing Pakistan at international level, and I think our dream started becoming true. We started winning things for Pakistan. We started winning. We are still the only team who has beaten India in a World Cup. We have beaten England in England. We have beaten South Africa, West Indies. So after getting all those victories, what still inspires me and drives me is there are two main things. One is the social impact of cricket, the social change that these girls are bringing. I've seen in 2010, after the gold medal, when the contracts came in, I saw a huge change in the dynamics of the lives of these women, in the households of these women. These women they started being respected in their own families for being cricketers. Because as soon as contracts came in, they became semi-professional, everyone started taking them seriously. So one thing is the social change, and the other big thing that keeps... I never thought of playing cricket for more than 3-4 years at the time I started, because that was the time I thought it was a hobby. I would just go on, play in a big Gaddafi stadium and live my dream. But what keeps me going, it's been 10 years now that I've been playing. And the other thing that keeps me going is the integration I see. The integration of Pakistan in a very small setup, where girls from different backgrounds, social, cultural, ethnic, and different religious backgrounds, coming together as one and just for one cause, and that is to bring glory to Pakistan, glory to Pakistan. And I think that is one thing that forces me to keep going, even ask me in my own mind that I stay involved in cricket, even if after I leave playing or I'm done with playing, is the kind of impact that I've seen with my own eyes, the kind of social change and integration that we have been able to do through sports. And I hope that we can do that more often. We can take it more further in Pakistan. We can use it as a tool for the social integration and the social impact it can provide. In doing all these things, there were a lot of sacrifices that we had to make on our way. One that I've already mentioned, that at the time when I started cricket, the educational institutes did not support female cricketers as much as they do now. Now we have got scholarships being given to girls just because they play cricket, from Lahore College, Connect College, and other more institutes in Pakistan. But at that time, when I went into one of the best engineering universities, I had to leave. I had to choose between professional career in engineering or sports. So that was one of the biggest, I think, steps in my life that I had to choose from. And then again, the lifestyles. There's a huge sacrifice when you decide that you want to be a female cricketer in Pakistan. We are still a developing team. We still face problems at the domestic level with the accommodation, with the travel facilities, with even the playing facilities, because there are not many grounds, especially for women out there. So there are a lot of, the lifestyle you have to live in is not at all luxurious when it comes to even the national players. So yes, this is the sacrifice that we are more than happy to make while representing Pakistan, or trying to represent Pakistan. And there was obviously, by my name, I'm Sana Meet, a Kashmiri, so a lot of good, tasty food that I have to miss out because I have to follow a certain regime. So another sacrifice that along the lines that I have to make. Apart from this, there was an interesting question by Robin. He asked me that, how do you keep yourself grounded? How do you stay humble while we have been able to achieve, we have been able to just be a little influential on the history of women in sports? I think what is extremely